God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right off the bat, we're going to jump out of order a little bit. We're going to look at resolution number 25, correct?
Yes.
26. At this point, I'd like to ask Attorney Gilchrist to come up. This is adopting negative deck on environmental quality review.
Right, and I'll start by saying I appreciate the board's indulgence on the agenda.
We'd like to get you to all your meetings
No,
tonight.
I appreciate that. A bit of a conflict, and I'd like to accommodate both boards, so I do appreciate the change in the schedule. This is on the application, the petition that was submitted by Motto Auto LLC seeking rezoning of 291 Oakwood Avenue from its current zoning designation of industrial light to B15. As the board is aware, this is the property, the parcel immediately adjacent to the existing Diamond Rock Plaza on the north end of Oakwood Avenue. Procedurally, the matter was before the board. The board did refer the application to the Town of Brunswick Planning Board for review and recommendation in the Rensselaer County Planning Department. Those recommendations have been completed and received. The town board held its public hearing at its December meeting on the petition for the zone change, closed the public hearing. So before you tonight is a determination of environmental significance under the State Environmental Quality Review Act on the action, as well as action on the petition itself. In terms of the seeker review, the town's designated review engineer, Ron LaBerge, is here. It's appropriate, I think, for him to take a pass through the proposed part 2 of the environmental assessment for peer review.
Mr. LaBerge? Not getting out of it easy, buddy.
What? You don't have to do that. So anyway, there was we prepared a draft, part 2, environmental assessment should be your package. So there are 11 items that are looked at. I don't know if you want to go through each and every one.
The members have had the draft part 2
Okay.
and have reviewed that, so if you can just generally review it.
Yep. So there are 11 items. They're all the draft check, no or small impact. There really are no impacts here. Since the zoning change in and of itself and created in any project that comes before the board, will go to the planning board for a complete time. That would be the normal planning board process project. Planning board does secret on that specific project, and then whatever determined. So there really are no impacts here. There was draft part 3, determination of significance, which basically it says that the planning board will review the application. So, do you have any answer to the question?
Pretty straightforward.
Pardon me?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's very straightforward.
Thank you, Ron. So in front of you is a proposed resolution. The first resolution would be to make the determination of environmental significance under seeker for this action. The resolution does point out that the seeker determination is with regard to the petition seeking the rezoning alone, and that any subsequent project subject to review in front of the planning board, either through site plan or special use permit, will be subject to full environmental review under seeker for that particular project. The resolution determines that this review under seeker is no less protective of the environment, given that it's addressing the zoning amendment alone. So in front of you is the resolution to adopt a seeker negative declaration.
Resolution 25 of 2024, resolution adopting a negative declaration pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act.
I'll offer it.
Second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Supervisor Harrington and seconded by Councilman Sullivan. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
And Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
The resolution has been adopted.
Now that the seeker determination has been made, the action itself is properly before the board for consideration. We'll repeat for the record that the petition seeking the rezoning was referred to the town planning board and to the county planning agency for review and recommendation. Those review processes were completed. The county's recommendation indicated that this does not conflict with county plans and that local consideration shall prevail. The town planning board recommendation was a positive recommendation, noting that any particular project would need to be reviewed by the planning board, including review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, as well as its site plan and/or special use permit jurisdiction. So the resolution before you would approve the rezoning petition, acknowledges that in order to formally then amend the zoning map, the zoning law of the town, that would need to be done through the formal local law process. This resolution would approve the petition itself seeking rezoning, so that's properly in front of you for consideration.
Okay, Resolution 26 of 2024. Resolution approving the petition seeking to rezone tax map parcel number 80.00-2-2.12 from the Industrial Light Zoning District to the B15 Zoning District. Seconded?
I'll second.
Thank you. Foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Christian and seconded by Councilman Balistrary. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted.
And the last thing that's in front of you this evening is the proposed local law. It did not have the introductory number.
Two.
Two.
Introductory.
This will be identified as introductory local law number 2 of 2024. This is a proposed local law amending the zoning law of the town of Brunswick and the zoning map of the town of Brunswick to rezone tax map parcel 80-2-2.12 from the industrial light zoning district to the B15 zoning district. This would need to be introduced by a member and then a public hearing set.
I'll introduce it.
What do you want to do with this public hearing? For the next board meeting?
Yep. Is there any rush that we know about?
Can it wait for a month?
Oh, I think so. Mr. Murley is here, correct. That's, so the regular March board meeting time,
Correct.
6:30?
6:30 is good?
Or 6:45?
6:45, I think would be.
Yeah,
Okay.
2:60.
Okay.
That works.
So introductory local law 2 of 2024 has been introduced by Councilman Sullivan. A public hearing has been scheduled for March 14th, 2024 at 6:45 p.m.
And again, thank you for accommodating this schedule.
Say hi to all our friends in Folsom too. Ron?
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Ron.
All right, now we can get in our regular meeting. One thing I just noticed down here, I'm thinking our town clerk's trying to be helpful, but visitors, we have public access at the beginning, and we have it at the end. And it says on here, the comments are limited to 5 minutes per speaker.
Sorry, guys.
That up?
It's minutes and it's a meeting and we just want to make sure everybody gets enough time to be able to have their speaking without going till 10 o'clock at night.
However, that's not the way I operate. You didn't ask me about this, so it's a town board decision, correct, Tom?
Yes.
So it's a town board decision. So my problem or my situation, just so you know, I've been around probably 30 years, many of you know. One thing I never lost track of is we work for you. You pay our salaries through your taxes. You elect us. You don't elect us, you fire us. But I'm uneasy. I mean, other towns do that, Rebecca. They do limit it, which is not. But personally, I can't do that. A few years ago, I saw Gene Eaton, and talk about him now, he passed away, but down in Troy, he had a, what do you call it? Clock. Like an egg timer thing, turn it over, you know, but seriously, you know, it's the right idea. The last meeting went for 2 hours. However, you know, I just asked you to try to condense it. I'm never gonna limit your time. If it takes you 6 minutes, if it takes you 7 minutes, and I tell you what, if you're not happy with that and you wanna talk to me, make arrangements, I'll come to your house. If you make coffee, I'll be there for an hour. I've done that many times. But we'll try to limit it, but I'm not gonna limit it. I never have, and I never will. All right, let's get into the business. Minutes of previous meeting.
Do you want to do a public speaking first?
I'm not even gonna let you talk at all. Visitors who wish to speak. One for 5 minutes and no minutes. We have public access in the beginning and also at the end. Anybody want to get up now or want to wait to the end? Or come on up. Have your name and address, please.
Hello, my name is Kim Jensen. I live at 14 Roberts Drive. And I wanted to come tonight. I attended the meeting last month, and there were a couple things that got brought up last month that I was interested in speaking on. There was a question that was posed on what can we do in regards to the traffic issues with Hoosick. And a citizens advisory board had been proposed. And I think that the formation of this advisory board would be a great way to answer the question of what can we do. Brunswick does have an incredible resource in its community. There's people who are interested in finding solutions and are willing to put their time and their effort towards this project. The advisory board would be a partnership between the hardworking employees and government officials of the town, as well as a group of community members who are committed to putting their skills to work to chase down all of the possible ways that we can reduce the current issues and prevent future ones. One of the other items that came up during last meeting was the lack of partnership and buy-in from our state resources. And I think that bringing together the community and the town through the advisory board would only help us with engaging the state in that process. You know, I'm excited about the passion that our community has shown for doing this research, for finding solutions, funding opportunities, and future management actions to keep our town attracting great businesses and bringing in more excellent residents. So I would just ask the town board to consider approving a citizens advisory board. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
keep it brief for Rebecca.
Thank you. Anybody else at this point? Again, we got public comments at the end. So. If not, we'll, come on around.
Hi, sorry. Good evening. My name is Vanessa Bongiorno. I live at 598 Tamarack Road. I just wanted to come up and speak and ask again, where can residents of Brunswick find out what the agenda and resolutions are going to be in advance of the meeting? You know, you mentioned that we were going out of order. We don't really know what the order is out here, like
Okay.
what's for consideration. So if we could get the agenda before the meeting, if it could be posted.
So, the day, typically,
Make sure you're in that microphone so we can hear you good.
so
My wife said you can hear me and you. So.
Yeah. Typically, with any of the board meetings, zoning board, planning board, and town, the agendas are usually posted the day of the meeting. That is when we receive them. It's been on the town board since this morning, but the resolutions have been numbered and properly ordered for this meeting today. So they were given in a different order, but I rearranged it. And they should be also on our website.
I checked before I came
On the calendar?
Resolutions were here, but the agenda wasn't. So anyway, I just wanted to share, like, in the interest of collaboration and transparency, like, if we could get just some information about
Sure.
what we can.
The resolution that I read was all explained on the right column, exactly what was going on.
Right, and that is kind of the essentially, that is the bulk of our agenda but I'm gonna post, there's a printout on the table. That's the actual agenda. And I'll
Take anyone else's time.
No.
That's all I'm asking.
You're fine. Going forward, I'll have that posted as well as the resolutions, just so you know, like, where they fall in the order.
Thank
Okay. Anybody else at this point?
Very quick.
Jim, come on up.
Jennifer Mann, 91 Hill Road. I also just wanted to ask if there had been any consideration of the Citizens Advisory Board. A number of people asked me, a lot of people had conflicts tonight, so a number of people asked me to come and ask about that as well.
That was my idea. I mean, I thought you were gonna meet as a group, but you're looking to make this like official, something official?
Yes.
I wanted it to be something official so that you will all feel comfortable that we're not meeting.
So we'd have to do a resolution form of committee and all that?
Right, and I have the resolution language that another person wrote who was on school board, if you want to help with, want help with that. But I just feel like it would be better if it were official also so that we can have meetings with like the DOT. We won't be able to get the DOT or anyone to meet with us if we don't have any official capacity.
I mean, I like to have input from the public, and I understand getting together and coming up here, but I don't know in terms of making an official committee. One thing I don't want it to be, if we do that, and I mentioned, Jen, I don't want the politic part of it.
No.
That's gotta stay out. Because there's an election every 2 years, and
Yes,
6 months before election, we do politics, the rest of the time, let's work together.
absolutely. It is meant to be a productive working group, not an angry group. There is not gonna, I will set out the rules well in advance that it is not about emotion. It is about finding solutions in a productive way with you guys. So just consider, and then I also wanted to check in and see if there's been any discussion of a moratorium on commercial development until we can kind of get a handle on things.
So as a board, to consider for next time, if you want to make an official committee out of this, or obviously how we want to do it.
Okay.
Okay, Jen? I don't mind input, that's for sure. All right, anybody else at this point? If not, let's roll right into the meeting here. Minutes of previous meeting, regular town board meeting, 1/11/24, public hearing, 1/11, and bid opening. Have a motion approval,
I'll make it.
have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Report by elected officials, town clerk, Rebecca.
So for the month of January, $7,406.02 will be remitted to the supervisor's office. That breaks down to $4,381 coming from recycling sales, $2,075 in rental fees, which is 12 community center reservations, $406 in dog licenses, which is 6 original licenses, 55 renewals, $328 in vital statistics, and $35 commission from DEC sales of $1,512.24. In the month of January, I attended the newly elected town official training in Albany. Very informative and very helpful, and I look forward to attending more training and other educational programs. Tonight, I would like to announce that we will be holding our first, it's a test, our first town-wide yard sale at the community center. It'll be June 1st with a rain date of June 8th. Yes, I talked to Supervisor Harrington about this, and he approved that I talk about it tonight. You'll have to register at the town clerk's office. I don't really know any details yet because we just kind of came up with it also because the newsletter will be going out next month. So I want to make sure that the newsletter has that content and make sure everybody is early on prepared. And if you're interested, stop by the town clerk's office for more information. Not to embarrass her, but my new deputy is here in the audience. She's kind of shy with public speaking, so we're easing in. Her name is Cheryl Roberts, and she's been fantastic. So if you'd like to say hello, Cheryl Roberts. Thank you.
Hi, Cheryl. Okay.
That's it.
Entertain a motion to approve Rebecca's report.
I'll make it.
Have a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor? The yard sale was Rebecca's idea. One thing that's tough about Brunswick, we don't really have a Brunswick center. the roads are so large, we struggle with that, so I think that's a great idea. So, more community things that we can do. The library is what does it all for us right now, but, so that was a good idea. All righty, highway, Mr. Bailey. No snow, what have you been doing, buddy?
Oh, lots of different little things. I have a report for January. We were patching 5 days. We recycled, fully recycled was out. Usually one guy for 2 days a week, 1 day and Friday, one day for the weekend, which is a good recycling day. We did a little bit of ditching work one day with 2 men, just cleaning up some stuff that needed to. A lot of brush cutting, 10 days of a full crew, just 5 guys. Got a lot of brush cut back, a little bit of a lack of snow, which is a great thing for the town. Putting up a few street signs that were then missing. BoarD Avenue, Tucson Avenue, replaced down. Spot salt, and we go out after the storms the next day, there's a little ice here and there, you gotta go run around and get that. Guys are running around and do that. So there's 2 days or 5 days, 5 days with 2 men doing that. Some mailbox repairs, thanks to me, mostly. 2 men for 2 days. A little better than the truck.
I've been told.
It's not as easy as you think.
No, I know.
Christmas tree pickup, we got 2 men for 4 days so far. Pretty well done now. There's a tree here and there, but they do a great job. That's all done. We have 2 men for 5 days cleaning trucks after a storm. They immediately bring them back in and go out, start cleaning the salt off and trying to preserve it a little bit. So we do a lot of washing inside the shop there. We get really slow, they'll go through cleaning the insides out. One gentleman takes a skid steer down the sidewalks on Route 7. I have 1 man for 3 days taking sidewalks and clearing them. Another crew, all sand in because of the amount of sand we used. We had 5 plowable storms, most of them on Sundays, which was good for the crew, not so good for our budget. So we had the whole crew in, they do a wonderful job, come in 4 o'clock in the morning, clean the place up. They come out of there like they're not going to be home no more. Do a great job. The last thing we done is, because we have an outdoor storm, I went over to the beach, took down the old retaining wall, we're taking that out. And today, actually, we poured 35 yards of concrete in there, and rebuild that wall, try to rebuild the beach face a little bit. That's my report.
Thanks. Entertain a motion to approve Mike's report. A second? All in favor? We did ask Michael to go over and look at the town beach. Many of you have been there. There was an old wall that started looking to us maybe not safe, so he did the extreme, made it safe, took the whole thing down, right? But one advantage is this gentleman was in the cement business, concrete business before. So he did some footings over there, put up some walls, poured 35 yards of concrete. This is a professional job at a reasonable price because our highway guys did it. So looks good, but that won't fall down. I'll guarantee you that. So
Your highway crew did extremely well.
my highway guys never saw concrete, so you had something to do with it. But I went over and they're all working together, the guys, and they said you're explaining. They were pretty proud of it, I think. They all dug in, all the highway guys did an excellent job. So thank you.
I'm pretty proud of them.
That's why I can't limit to 5 minutes. I talk too much. I want to get out one night a month. I get out.
It was more of a suggestion.
Wasn't suggested, written. All righty, water department, Mr. Brett. Mr. Bradley was out all night the other night fixing a break over in Mountain View.
Yes, we were. Getting a little old and don't recover. Can't lay down on the couch for 2 hours and get back up and go again. It just doesn't work anymore, you know, so.
Not even below zero.
No, the weather wasn't bad at all. It's the soil conditions over there are full of cobbles and rocks, so it's hard to find anything, you know, so. But we got there and got taken care of. We completed our meter reading for the February water and sewer bills. We're gonna send the bills out February 24th. And with that, we will also include a notice of the rate increase that took effect January 1st. The new residential water rate, as I said last month, is $6.12 per 1,000 gallons. And the new minimum rates, the residential minimum rate for just water will be $91.80. And the minimum combined water and sewer rate will be $100.98. And there's 15,000 gallons of water in the minimum rate, so we either kind of like use it or lose it kind of deal, you know, but that's the way we've established our system. And some people sometimes talk about whether the minimum rate is fair or not, but if you call us to come out and check your meter, if you want your water shut off, you know, there's a whole host of things that we do that we don't charge that other communities do charge for. So it's kind of like a little bit of an insurance policy also, that people can feel, you know, that we'll be there to help them if they need something. So it's part of the rationalization for it. We've had several water main breaks, the supervisor everything just said, and we've had a couple service line leaks that we repaired. The guys have done you know, an excellent job, really taking it on themselves, and I feel very confident that, you know, in a couple of years they will be totally on top of the game. And in between all the meter reading and everything else, we have the meter replacements. You know, we do, when we read the meters, you know, you'll have meters that registered 0, and you look and see did it register 0 last period, which typically indicates as a stop meter. So we've gone out and, you know, looked for those stop meters, repair the stop meters. Meters that have been hard to read, where people have gates that are locked, you know, mean dogs, things of that sort. You know, today's world of liability and everything else, you know, we really don't want people going in backyards with mean dogs and spraying them in the face or anything else if that happens. It's just not a cool thing to do. So we're putting the electronic meters in so that solves that issue. We put up on the website the online survey for the water service line coming into your home. This is a mandatory program that we have to complete by October of this year. Well, I shouldn't say complete. We have to make a full good faith effort to be reporting on all our water service lines that go to every single residence. And that even includes, we have to work with the apartments and their internal piping and things of that sort to verify that, let's say that you have an apartment complex that doesn't have lead services. So we put an online survey up. You can go to the main page of our website, you can click on it, says get the lead out. You can click on that, and that'll take you to a monthly survey we're utilizing to fill out some pertinent information, your name, address, and location, and to ask you to take a picture of your service. The more people who do that for us, the less that we're going to have to send our personnel out, knocking on doors and getting all this photo documentation. Photo documentation is required. So, you know, hopefully some people will start responding to this. You know, we're going to send some letters out, and you know, we'll see what kind of compliance rate we have. We may have to look at hiring some summer help, you know, to go out and do some canvassing and everything else this summer if we don't get, you know, a high compliance rate with people doing this voluntarily. That's all I got.
Any questions? Entertain a motion for Bill's report.
I'll make it. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Mr. Golden, Superintendent of Utilities and Inspection.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is the report from the building department for January 2024. We had 64 building and property inspections, 307 active building permits, 15 permits issued or renewed with 1 canceled,
9 meetings, 2 planning board meetings, 1 zoning board meeting, 0 court cases, 12 fire inspections, 9 follow-up code complaint inspections, 3 code call-out inspections, 8 code complaints, 10 code complaint inspections, as well as vacant abandoned property inspections, 4 vacant abandoned properties that were identified or suspected with the assessor's department, 5 planning board projects, 3 zoning board projects, and 5 FOIL request searches. I did the training Tuesday for the portfolio manager for the clean energy communities. This is something that I think I started 2 or 3 years ago. Jim called me out on it, how come we're still at the same rate for over 2 years? And I had time to get back and get some training done on it, so I'm planning to benchmark the community center. It's the lowest hanging fruit. It has its own meter. Our campus here has the meters daisy chain. So with that, I'm hoping we'll be able to get that number up and get some grant money. As we previously said, it wasn't the easiest thing to do because you were so proactive in installing LED lighting, having solar panels on the roof. So there wasn't a real good, a quick return on it, on our time for that. It is quite a bit of record keeping. I know you asked other town supervisors, so it is a lot of record keeping with Rebecca's team, her and Cheryl. We got to go back a year records, and we actually have to get the activation date of the meter, which I asked Pat, and he said, look about October of '96. He says, I think that was the time. I also finished the 1203 report. That's the yearly report that we respond to the New York State Department of State. And we spoke about the residences. We had 7 new residences and 0 commercial last year. Pools were big, and they have been since the pandemic. We had 24 pools, 16 above ground and 8 in ground. It also, he tells a pretty wet year. We had 56 roofing permits. So you had a roof that was on the cusp, but it sure was leaked this year. Had 180 complaints. It's roughly one every 2 years or so. It's my report for January.
Question, Chuck. I had a couple of developers over the years. I didn't think, but I just had one ask me again. Said when they come to get a building permit, they have to show their workman comp insurance and public liability insurance. And they said every other town, that's good. But here we add one, disability insurance.
Workers' comp, disability, and
So we got 3. They said we're the only town that has the disability.
We have checked with the Department of Labor, and we are supposed to collect disability. And you're right, when I was a contractor, this was kind of peculiar with this town.
They said nobody was complaining, but they just said our insurance company sends the other 2 right away.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get a call saying, well, wait a minute, you're missing one. So they're just saying it's unusual. So I didn't know why we're different. I guess.
We're supposed to by law. A lot of other municipalities don't even ask them.
Yeah.
And they don't bother, but we're supposed to.
Yeah. Like I said, nobody was complaining. They just asked them.
So. If the guys show up, I tell them, well, the liability, disability, workers' comp.
Yeah.
And in lieu of the workers' comp, if they meet the criteria, they can fill out CD2.
I mean, not everybody has all this stuff. I mean, weans out that.
Exactly.
A few
And
people.
I think that also helps actually have requiring permits for roofs.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Entertain a motion for Mr. Golden's report.
I'll make it.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chaffee, town attorney.
This past month, I attended and participated in meetings with staff and outside counsel on various matters at the town office, or by conference call or remote meeting on January 12, January 15, January 19, January 22, January 23, January 24, February 5, February 6, and February 7, 2024. I prepared the resolutions and other documents pertaining to tonight's regular meeting. We continue to work with outside counsel on 2 pending CPLR 78 proceedings commenced against the town in connection with freedom of information law requests. I've been working with outside counsel as regards a court proceeding challenging the determination by the town's own Board of Appeals in connection with an appeal filed to that board regarding the issuance of a stop work order and denial of a building permit by the town building department. I've been working with the building department regarding some pending and prospective enforcement matters, and working with the supervisor's office on some personnel matters. Been working with representatives of Pure Sky Energy, the company which is developing the Tamarack Solar commercial solar collector system on Richards Road in connection with putting together a decommissioning and securing agreement for the project. Been working with Bill Bradley on preparing certain easements to be obtained from some individuals who own real property adjacent to the Vanderheim Dam, which are needed to enable the town to complete the rehabilitation of the dam, which has been mandated by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. I have worked with various town departments in responding to some outstanding freedom of information law requests. And as always, I perform legal research, provide legal opinions, and review or prepare legal documents as requested by various town officials and employees.
Okay?
Okay. Which you did for me when you were in Florida on vacation.
Yes, yes.
10 o'clock at night.
Oh, boy. He's on salary, so we don't worry about that.
Oh, all right. And you didn't even tell me he was gone.
You wanna approve his report then?
Absolutely.
And I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, who's next here? Tracy, town historian, come on up.
So, good evening, gentlemen. This month, I have been looking into the two general stores that were operating within the town. The first one was Rotelli Brothers. It's located in Sickaway. They were in business from approximately 1950 to 2016. Alexander Rotelli was born in Italy in 1892, and he immigrated to the United States in 1910. He found his way to Brunswick by 1925. In or around 1950, he became the owner of the Rotelli grocery store located at the intersection of Derrick Ave and Hoosick Road. Mr. Rotelli ran the store until his sudden death in 1952, when he was struck by a car in front of his store while he was loading groceries into a customer's vehicle.
On Route 7.
Sadly, it was near the same spot.
52.
Yeah, yes. And sadly, it was near the same spot that his son Alex was killed in a car accident only 5 years earlier. He was only 23 years old, and he was a veteran from World War II. After Mr. Rotelli's death, his two sons, John and Don, took over the store. It was then known as the Rotelli Brothers Market. The family also had a small garden center across the street where they sold flowers, vegetable plants, and other garden supplies. They continued in business for many years. Don Rotelli passed away in 2010, and his brother John died in 2014. And the building is still standing, and actually still says Rotelli Grocery on it.
They used to cross the road all the time to get to the garden center.
Yeah, crazy. So another store I was looking into is the Raifenberg store, also known as the Pleasant Valley store. In 1886, Edward McChesney converted a hotel in Cropsyville into a general store. It then was known as the Pleasant Valley store. Mr. McChesney owned the business until 1905, when he sold it to Charles Raifenberg, and he operated the store into the 30s. After Mr. Raifenberg died in 1933, his son Earl and his wife Edna took over the business. For over 40 years, they sold everything from house paint to hot dogs. At one time, they had pickles and molasses in barrels that you could purchase. There was a grain room on the second floor with a chute down to the store. They retired in 1970 after being in business for 65 years. It was sold once again. How long that stayed in business, I don't know. I got the guy's name, but I don't know when it finally closed up for good. But that is also standing. It was converted into a house, and you can still see, like, by the windows that it used to be the store.
Excellent. Very interesting. I'll approve Tracy's report. I have a second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Angster, recycling coordinator.
Good evening. Recycling report for January. Blue bags purchased at the center. We had 433 at $3 for $1,299. Blue bags purchased from vendors. We had 800 for $2,040. Purple bags purchased at the center, we had 164 at $2 for $328. Our baled cardboard was 2.44 tons and a penny a pound for $97.60. Our metal, light iron, and tin, we had 1.2 tons at $100 a gross ton for $107. Car batteries, 0.657 tons or 1,314 pounds at 17 cents a pound for $223. Our miscellaneous, we had large and small appliances, we had 13, 11 TVs, and 11 tires for $413. And that gave us revenues of $4,508. The expenses, refuse landfill, 15.33 tons, plus for $1,783. Single stream recycled, 9.88 tons at $50 a ton for $494. And we had expenses of $2,277. And the amount recycled and landfill for January was 29.51 tons.
Excellent. Entertain a motion for Mr. Rankin's report.
I'll make it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Brunswick Community Library. Sarah, come on up.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
So January is a quieter month for us because we had 2 holidays and we did close early one day for winter. But we had 1,969 visitors. We answered 268 reference questions. Our Wi-Fi was used by 135 unique users. Our study spaces were used 170 times. Our technology was used 84 times and we processed 15 passports. Our items were checked out 8,086 times, and our programs were attended 380 times. For this upcoming month, some programs that I'd like to highlight. On the 13th at 3 o'clock, we have an Herbs for Winter Wellness class taught by Master Gardener Janice Fallon. On the 14th, Valentine's Day, we have a Valentine book sale. And from 4 to 6 on the same day, we're making upcycled Valentine book garlands. On the 21st at 4 o'clock, while the kids are off of school, we're having an indoor drive-ins program where the kids get to decorate cardboard boxes like little cars and they'll park them inside and we'll put up a big movie screen and they'll all watch a movie together. We do ask that people call to sign up for that one because space is limited and we want to provide enough snacks for everybody. For anyone who's listening, our number is 518-279-4023. Please don't call now, nobody's there. Call us in the morning. And on the 27th at 4 o'clock, we have a nature classroom with Miss Heather. It's a really fabulous learning program that involves being outside in nature, learning from books, doing nature exploration, and using some kind of materials to form a craft. So that is another fun activity that we have coming up. Any questions?
Yeah, what is an upland book garland?
Upcycled book garland. So we're gonna be using, every now and then we have some really old, kind of gross books that aren't really usable. We're gonna be upcycling them, so instead of going into the garbage, they can become art. And we're gonna be making heart garlands out of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thanks.
Entertain a motion for library report.
I'll make it. You second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's the end of the reports. Rebecca, we got resolutions.
Resolution 27 of 2024. Resolution approving certified list of volunteer firefighters of the Brunswick Fire Company Number 1 Incorporated, also known as Fire Company, who have earned at least 50 points during the calendar year 2023 under the Length of Service Award Program, also known as LOSAC, sponsored by the town of Brunswick for the said fire company, thereby qualifying them for a year of service credit and directing that the said certified list be returned to the fire company for posting for a minimum period of 30 days.
I'll offer it.
I'll second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Supervisor Harrington and seconded by Councilman Christian. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
I abstain.
And Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted.
Mark, you know what the ML means? Military leave. Military leave, okay, thanks.
Resolution 28 of 2024, resolution approving certified list of volunteer firefighters of the Volunteer Fire Company of Center Brunswick Incorporated, also known as Fire Company, who have earned at least 50 points during the calendar year 2023 under the Length of Service Award Program, LOSAP, sponsored by the town of Brunswick for the said fire company, thereby qualifying them for a year of service credit and directing that the said certified list be returned to the fire company for posting for a minimum period of 30 days.
I'll offer it.
I'll second.
Foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Balistrary and seconded by Councilman Sipperly. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
And Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted. Resolution 29 of 2024, resolution approving certified list of volunteer firefighters of the Mountain View Volunteer Fire Company Incorporated, also known as Fire Company, who have earned at least 50 points during the calendar year 2023 under the Length of Service Award Program, LOSAP, sponsored by the town of Brunswick for the said fire company, thereby qualifying them for a year of service credit and directing that the said certified list be returned to the fire company for posting for a minimum period of 30 days.
I'll offer it.
I'll second it.
Foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Balistrary and seconded by Councilman Christian. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
And Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 30 of 2024, resolution approving the memorandum of agreement relating to the successor agreement between the town and CSEA.
This is our labor union contract with our highway workers. I want to mention we had a committee of Councilman Balistrary, Councilman Similarly, and Becky Legacy, our bookkeeper. And of course, the union had a committee also. It's labor negotiations for a 3-year contract. They were able to get everything done. I'm going to call it the negotiations in 2 meetings, which is amazing. It shows me teamwork between the town and our highway department. They voted on this. It was 14-1. Basically, I mean, just the highlights. We made an adjustment. As you know, cost of living doesn't stop. And the highway is harder and harder to find CDL drivers and people that want to get up in the middle of the night and plow snow and pave and all that. And I think we got a great team. We got a lot of young guys out there. They're working good. Mike worked with them pretty good. So we made an adjustment 2 years ago. In 22, we gave a flat $2 an hour raise to everybody. There's different steps. It's complicated, but this negotiation, what it calls for, is one time effective January 1st, another $3 an hour raise for them. And then effective 2025, 3.5%, and the following year is 3%. So I think it's a pretty good contract. A lot of other towns try to get, take some of the insurance benefits away, raise the co-pays or whatever. We left our insurance coverage the same, did not touch that. They have a closing allowance, they have a foul weather gear, most of $500 a year on top of everything. And of course they have their steps. So when people talk about, the relationship and we should do more for the highway guys, personally, I think we got a great relationship going here and we try to compensate them, and that's what this contract's about. So, all right.
I'll offer it.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Balistrary and seconded by Councilman Sipperly. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
And Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted.
Thank you for your effort, guys.
Resolution 31 of 2024, resolution approving and accepting form of decommissioning surety agreement for decommissioning of solar equipment.
Second.
Foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Christian and seconded by Councilman Sullivan. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
And Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted.
That's it?
Yep.
Got any correspondence?
We have one. This is from apologize if I mess up your name. The last name is Rimkunas on Kestner Lane. They said that their mailbox was accidentally knocked off by a plow, but it was not a problem for them. It's expected. And before they could put a new one up, town employees came by the next day and put a new box on. And they went above and beyond, and they are extremely thankful. Good job.
Mike, you
That
win.
might be, wasn't it?
That wasn't your baby. Very nice. He's right, in the middle of the night, guys, with those big plows, it's hard when you get the wing stuff. So. Because they knock mine down like the county every year, and I stop yelling at the county, and now they miss it for some reason, so. Accident, I'm quite sure. All right, what do we got here? Anybody got any older business? Any new business? One thing I want to mention, your CDTC study that's been going on for a year. Route 7, we had a online taping. I took it for granted, and I thought I understood that there was going to be a public hearing with the state, with CDTC, with Creighton Manning Engineering. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing everything online. Councilman Sipperly called me up and said, we are going to have a public meeting, correct, as far as I know. But I taped a little section, and then Creighton Manning had a whole report, what they've been finding down there over the last year. And basically what they said is that they've completed the recording, and are working with the Transportation Council on the online survey and the outreach material. They are tentatively aiming to launch the public workshop next week and follow up with an in-person meeting in March per Supervisor Harrington's request. I said we will keep you in the loop. So this is an online like they did before. It was Creighton Manning did about, I think it was 16, 17 minutes of what they found, what they've been studying, their suggestions, and it's all online. But they will schedule one. They're promised me in March, where it's an open meeting. They're going to come make a presentation, which they should. I said, listen, I got people come every month. They're asking me questions. And when I tell them it's not my road, they don't want to hear that. And when I tell them, basically, they don't want to hear me. So you come as the state and explain what you found. So what we need to do is, when it goes online here, is find out when, and Rebecca and Tracy and everybody else get it out there so you guys know it's online. So, all right? Any other old business, new business? Warrants?
I make a motion to pay our bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any further comments at this point? Come on up.
Jim Patrick, 387 Brunswick Road. In anticipation of the CDTC interaction, I found that it was virtually impossible to find this information. You know, for example, when they had when this thing started to find the online survey that they were doing, it was almost impossible. So, I mean,
They had about 1,000 respondents.
Yeah, there's 1,000.
okay, but the thing is, like these pop-up things, these things were not advertised at all. You know, and they weren't on the town website. They were on the CDTC website, which nobody's going to be doing, looking for them for information. Okay? And even, you know, for example, the draft, I think, that preceded the report, you know, that's on the town website. Or you can get to it on the town website.
Yeah.
But I challenge any of you to find it. Okay?
Yeah.
It's, you have to go through all sorts of links here, the link there, and whatever to get this. So I think you need a clear-cut announcement on the town website for this, not something sort of like we can find it somehow. Right? Okay. I have a couple questions about some of the town hiring practices. We mentioned, I was here a couple meetings ago talking about this, and I wonder if you could describe really briefly the process by which you hire a new employee. For example, Mike was looking for another highway person, right? For example, are there applications for jobs? Do people ever fill out an application?
For like a highway position?
Well, for any position in the town.
Fill out an application.
We always accept applications for employment. You can pick up any general application in the town clerk's office.
Okay, so the job that I'm talking about, I think you know, one was given by resolution back in November. And I was asking about this in December, and everybody seemed to be very perplexed about the details of it. And so the supervisor said he was going to look into this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just curious, as far as I could tell, there was no posting of this advertising for this job.
What happens is, there's been posting for Cheryl's job, correct? Assessment, board review, or assessment, the assessor.
I've seen those, yes.
All those. What happened with that position that you mentioned, the lady in there retired, okay? And there was an opening, and that was the first one. And to be honest, I thought it was posted, but it wasn't, which is okay. Most of it is for Mr. Bradley, department. When she retired, he came and said, what I'd like to do is take that department and take it to the next level. And I want to computerize it, and I want this, and I want that. Correct, Bill? You want to do a lot of different things in there? And what I heard was, there was a gentleman that worked for the county, that was looking to leave the county, that grew up in Brunswick, and he had those skills. So what I said was, come in and sit down with Bill and interview with him. Correct, Bill? Yes. Which he did. Bill called me up and said he's unbelievable, he's got all the knowledge, that's what we're looking for. So I said, we'll do a resolution. I don't know if we needed to post it. In hindsight, we could have posted it. We're looking for assessment board review personnel. It's they meet like twice a year. I don't ever remember posting for that. We usually try to find somebody. So I said, no. Jim's bringing up a good point. Everybody we hire will post it. So that's posted outside. But that position you mentioned was not posted. I don't think illegally we did anything wrong. But that kind of did it through somebody that knew somebody, you know.
So this fellow was the only person who applied for the job.
Right, well, we didn't ask anybody else because he had a lot of talents. He was leaving the county, just bought a house across from the Pollock's or the Gardner Price Chopper. So it's kind of fell in place. And it paid $40,000 a year total. I mean, it wasn't a $100,000 job or anything, you know, so. Did we drop the ball yet? Maybe.
Well,
Did we get the wrong person? No, this guy is unbelievable, correct, Bill?
All right.
Okay, but I got you.
I asked about this 2 months ago, and you didn't seem to, you didn't know anything about
Because,
it.
no, I knew about it, but I thought it was, no, I thought, I don't do the posting, whenever there's an opening, we post it, and, no, listen, I thought that was posted, and I didn't answer then, because I wanted to see if we did, and we did not post it, so.
But you got the answer to that.
So,
I mean, Supervisor Harrington explained the same thing to you 2 months ago.
No, actually didn't.
Well, yes, he did.
No,
He said he most likely did.
He did not even know what job,
I wasn't sure, yeah.
what job was being offered.
One thing I've learned-
Or to whom it was offered.
No, I knew it was home.
Well, then you should have said it.
One thing I stutter about, I've learned, whenever I say something, it's gospel. Usually people come to my farm, they talk to me, and then like a week later, they call me up and they got this thing, got me on tape, asking all kinds of questions. So when I get here and we're getting recorded, I don't want to say the wrong thing, I kind of stutter a little bit, so. But anyway, now, growing up with Romeo Naples, when he's here, and I love Romeo, he's still alive, he never advertised for anybody, but that would be old timers, so we try to advertise. Highway jobs are posted down there, if there's an opening, it goes down there, especially if you got labor and you're looking for heavy equipment, it's posted, all the existing guys have a chance to sign and move up the ladder. If not, we put it on a billboard down there, so that's all done.
I'm all in favor. This is not the first time I've mentioned this.
No.
Yeah, all right. Okay. The other
Keep
thing-
mentioning, keep me in line, so.
Okay. The
I'm
other
not
thing I have,
complaining.
other question I have is did the town get any, the ARPA money from last year, the American Rescue Plan Act?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, what was that money, where did that go?
It's earmarked for the dam rehabilitation.
Okay. I think I'd put that in the newsletter when it comes out.
To mention it?
Sure. I mean, considering that, that grants and things we get from the government, that's a dirty word, right? Because we all want to stand on our own 2 feet.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, the other expense, this big expense coming up from government mandates is the lead remediation in the pipes. Right?
Yeah.
I hate to suggest this because once again, this is a dirty word, grants. Is anybody actively seeking out grants for this?
Yeah, Bill's reported on that before.
All right. Has it been successful?
No, we have not, at this current point in time, filed for a grant for the reason that there is a matrix, and the state has made the decisions on where, at this particular point in time, where the money is going to go. And we don't even come close to fitting into the current matrix. Going forward, after we finish our lead line survey, we will be in a much better position to apply for grants that are specific to our needs at that particular point in time. But there is very little money for a community of our type because we actually are at a higher level of income. We don't have as many economically depressed locations. We don't have very many social injustice locations. So we don't fit the current matrix that the state is making. At this point in time, the grants that have been delivered, those matrices have been decided by the New York State Department of Health. And they're going to be earmarked towards those communities, as I said, that meet those other criteria.
Okay. And the last question about that, if the town incurs expense for the lead replacement, if it's the town's cost, is that going to be absorbed by the water districts or is that spread out over the whole town?
Currently it's a water district expense.
Yeah.
There are ways to go out and put this on that there is, within the law, there's an allowable means to put it into the general fund. But right now, it's going to be a water department expense.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, but usually when a department head is looking for somebody, I don't tell them what deputy they're gonna hire because I'm not working with them. Rebecca did her own draft, what she needed, and interviewed people. Same thing with Julie. The court clerk hired somebody, same thing. Bill, just quickly, come on, tell me what you're doing at the department. Your ideas. You wanted somebody with computer skills. You're way over my head. What are you trying to accomplish? What's happening?
All right, first, Jim, I would say we probably could have handled this better. My assistant, Julie Yukovich, she chose to retire, and we have very few people and a lot of work to do. So I had a very short time frame in order to get somebody in that office and start training them. When the particular candidate came up, I'll be frank, my wife had him as a student, and she spoke very highly of him. So I said, okay, let's talk to him. Very competent, had a lot of computer skills, and a good fit for what I thought the department personality wise. And I said, hey, this is a good fit for what we need to do here. We have to have somebody that can be at a higher level of computer skills and personal interface that we have with the public. We need somebody that can handle that well. Yes, could have gone out and advertised, but I guess I had already made up my mind, and anything else would have just been making people, jump through hoops. It would have been no benefit to them and no benefit to me, because I was very comfortable with the person that we chose, and he's worked out great. And so, is it, like I said, the supervisors that are Harrington, I don't think we violated any laws. Could we have done it a little bit differently, of course, but I don't really know.
He's a young guy that just got married, so and got a house, I said, in Brunswick. His salary's $40,000, and the county called me a few days later and yelled at me for hiring him away. So I didn't make any complaints with the county, so that's what happened there. Next time, we'll make sure it gets advertised, but Bill told me, listen, this is exactly what I need. Go ahead and interview if you want, or hire, whatever. Okay, anybody else at this point?
So my name's Bonnie Fucci, 36 Kellogg Avenue, Troy, New York. Legal name is Betty. So I'm just checking to see what the latest is about, there was a court case about the road behind Aldi's that's trying to go into our neighborhood. And about 2 months ago, you said they were suing the town for not allowing that road, and then I just never heard anything more about it.
There's anything, there's nothing, well, it could be that PF development case. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not sure, it was, at the meeting, it was just said, oh yeah, that road behind Aldi's has become a court case. So I wasn't sure what that meant.
It was something that arose out of that, but, the case was dismissed at the lower court level. But it's still subject to being appealed. They filed a notice of appeal, so I don't think we should be commenting on the merits of the case at this point.
Okay, so then nothing new is happening.
It wasn't just about the road, so.
It really wasn't related.
It was nothing to do with the road.
It was just, that project was in that project
Okay.
where the road was an issue, but it was a different issue.
Okay, so but that's still just kind of out there.
Yes.
Okay, and you'll let us know if that changes in any way that's gonna affect that piece of land?
Yes.
As I said, we can't comment on it, but as you know, the feeling out there, the Supervisor Harrington allows everything on Route 7. Sure does seem that way, but this was an apartment that was gonna, complex gonna go in down behind Planet Fitness, and there was questions, the board took a look at it, and in the meantime, there's possible lawsuits over that, so. Okay? Anything else? Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Lisa Schneider. 684 Pinewoods Avenue. I apologize because I had written some notes, but unfortunately I left them at home as I was leaving. I did have a question about what's going on in East Greenbush in regards to the Capital Region Transportation Council.
Yeah.
And how does that differ from the CDTC? They are two separate entities, correct? What
I
you
think
were
there was
just,
a name change recently.
there was a name change recently. Okay, that's what.
Yeah, they just changed the name.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification because that confused me. Even though I've been living in my home for 22 years, I don't know if this has ever been done on Route 7.
The study?
The study, because it sounds pretty, I mean, the public meetings, and they're gonna be talking about the study's methodology. And I just don't know, and I'm honestly asking, has that ever occurred here in?
I believe they're doing the same study that we had. We applied for a grant, we got the highest grant, there was 100,000, I believe we put in 10,000. But the question that Mr. Sipperly called me, he picked up on it. That same committee is having 2 public workshops down in East Greenbush and North Greenbush.
Right.
That's the same study that we got, and ours looked like it was just gonna be online. And so I said to him, so
Right, okay.
it's the same thing we got going on, so.
So I guess my question was, did East Greenbush ask for something that we hadn't asked for, and there's,
I don't know what happened down there. I mean, I thought we were gonna have the public hearings too, or public workshops or whatever. What it's all.
only because I was just reading about.
We didn't drop anything.
No, it wasn't even saying that you dropped anything,
Yeah.
I just didn't, because all of a sudden I was reading about it, and they're having a hearing, and I thought, well, that sounds like what we could use, but it's, okay. Well,
And I had to tape a welcome thing, and I said, listen, I'll say welcome, but the first thing I'm gonna say when you turn that tape is, what happened to our public meeting up here? Because we got people that wanna participate and say they got contact with the state. You gotta come and tell them what we just been studying that for a year, you know, so.
So there are those of us who could contact them directly and ask that question. There's no reason why.
They promised me in March they will have a public hearing, probably a
Well, I'm
case
talking
night.
separate from you. I'm saying separate from
Oh, you
the town
can,
council.
feel free to call.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you very much.
all right, anybody else?
Hi, Jamie Ash, 218 South Lake Ave. I just wanted to clarify, I don't think there was a response when Jen Yan asked if there had been any more discussion on the moratorium, and if perhaps maybe you're going to wait so that you can all discuss and maybe hopefully agree on the citizen advisory board.
So you're wondering about the moratorium?
Yes, sir.
My feeling is, I mean, a moratorium basically is what you're trying to do is, you know, stop the review of the projects and look at all the issues, i.e. traffic. So what I'm saying is, why put a moratorium on now? That's what we've been doing for a year. CDTC has been doing exactly that, studying the traffic, studying with DOT, with Creighton Manning, talking about the side. This is exactly what we would try to accomplish if we did a moratorium. So what I'm saying is, why don't we wait and see what their report is?
I'm just slightly concerned because
What's that? Sorry.
I'm just slightly concerned about what the outcome there might be.
Yep.
Just because it's my understanding that some of those pieces that they put up to study the traffic were actually, sorry, air quotes, sorry about that, Rebecca. Some of those items were broken during.
They got a lot of car counts, so something must have got fixed, so I'm seeing the numbers, so.
Okay, that's pretty hefty. I took a video this evening, if you all would like to see what the lovely traffic is like right there between North Lake, South Lake, and Hoosick, which I understand is not your road. Very, very clear. But it's terrible. It's terrible from there all the way up to Walmart.
So what I like, if DOT and Creighton Manning and CDTC, with all their experts, with all their studies and the traffic lights, if they don't come up with something, you think that we can? That's what I don't know, you know?
No, I'm not thinking for you. I'm just, we're concerned.
Or
I
you
know-
can, maybe you can figure it out or something, what I'm
Sure.
saying.
And I think that's where the Citizen Advisory Board would come in great.
Yeah.
And that's why I would really implore all of you to get on board with that so that we can have some connection between you, us, legally.
And I would love to have the public workshop and you go there and say,
I'll be there.
oh, you'll be there.
I'll be
there.
I'll be there. I just want to make sure that we all understand. I know that I believe there's one person on this board that may live a little closer to us, but from what I understand, Google is a pretty cool thing. You all live in the country down here, and I don't think you're feeling the pains that we're all feeling in that area. And I think that's our concern, is
I
that
know.
we're not being heard enough.
And my problem is not being heard enough, you're right. That's what I struggle with, because, and I mentioned before, and I'm not being wise, but we just had the election, and Jennifer did an outstanding job, along with, can't remember her name, I'm sorry, the other lady that just ran for council. Evelyn Carter and Tommy, and they're, basically their whole 80% was on Route 7 and the traffic. And what happened was, when we went door to door, as I said, you're right, it's bad, especially down here where you live. But I'm trying to figure out what does the whole town want, I mean, we know this is bad, I understand that. But as I mentioned, when I go to Mountain View and I go to Route 40, there's so many people who said, listen, we don't want to pay more taxes. We want the sales tax. We want the revenue. I know that maybe that's not important. I had people say, I'll pay twice the taxes. I don't care. But a lot of people don't say that.
It's safety for our kids.
Right.
It's
But
not safe for our kids to
what I'm saying is, that was the whole issue. And now I got other people saying to me, like Aldi's, okay? People down there did not want Aldi's because of traffic. I went to the seniors, who a lot of them live over off 142, and they said, when's Aldi coming? When will it? So they're gonna kill me if they rule out Aldi's, So we're trying to represent the whole town. So that's what I'm struggling with,
And
It's hard.
I embrace that.
It's not easy.
I trust that it's not easy for you. It's also not easy for us. And we're just
And-
looking to.
And I'm meeting, which is gonna be interesting, I got invited by Carmella, the new mayor, to go down, next week and meet with the city of Troy. And she's gonna have 3 DOT people, she got a state senator, more power than I got, and John McDonald, the senator, and they wanna talk about Chick-fil-A, they wanna talk about what's happening up here. So, I understand that, but I gotta find out, because when they put a hotel down there in Newton, they didn't ask me what I wanted to do. When they put Starbucks in, when they built Walgreens, so they don't want the Chick-fil-A, I understand. But do we say no up here, but then Troy's gonna keep building, and that's same Route 7, It's a struggle, so I don't know what this meeting's about. So maybe they're gonna try to come up with some kind of solution too. It's hard. It's hard because when you rezone, if that's what the ultimate goal is, you're gonna have a financial impact too, so you gotta look at that a little bit. Them $3 I just talked about, and all those benefits I just mentioned, very, very expensive for a small town.
I had questions about that, but I thought that.
And our good governor keeps raising minimum wage, which is great. But now it went from $14.20 to $15. So the summer program that we're proud of with all these kids, I was notified today, that's another $16,000 for a summer program for the kids, $14.20 to $15. So every time we turn around here, I'm getting hammered with financial stuff. And our guys up here, we worry about the financial. I mean, I know the traffic, the safety, I know that, but this is what we struggle with. And I'm trying to represent the whole town, It's hard.
Right, quickly mentioning the summer program, you're talking about the beach
Yep.
program. Okay, we had just learned about that last year, but we were going to send our son there. And then we heard a lot of things about dunkage
About what?
duck itch, because
Yeah.
it's overloaded with ducks, and people who've
Yeet.
grown up here and have been going there for years, they're like, oh yeah, you get duck itch, it goes away, it's all good. But the other thing that we were a little challenged with, and the reason we didn't send our son was because my husband's cousin works there, and she's like, we are overwhelmed. There are 60 more kids than we're supposed to have,
Nah,
and we don't have enough staff.
that's not true.
So,
Let me tell you something. I love these rumors, on the Facebook.
well, this isn't a rumor, this is
No, I know.
coming straight from.
And once they put it on Facebook, it's true,
No,
So-
this is from an employee.
That's from an employee, but the employee doesn't tell you, we're state regulated.
Right.
We have to have so many counselors per kid.
Correct.
So we can't throw an extra 20 kids in there because the state, Rebecca, you know that,
Yeah, the Department of Health really, they're strict on,
very strict.
adults, counselors, lifeguards per children. It's very strict. And unfortunately, as the summer continues and we get closer to the end of summer, closer to Labor Day, because a lot of them are younger folks that work here and they have to go back to school. So as they quit or leave us, that's why we have to close the beach earlier, because we don't have the right staff for it.
Right.
Right, but otherwise it is very strict and
And are you finding that you have challenges actually getting some of the people to show up to work? Because maybe that's where the
we
confusion is.
we haven't heard that honestly
We have
in
not
the
heard that.
office.
You've got all these rumors, which
Yeah.
you think is, oh, they're not rumors. They're not rumors. I know, your nephew or somebody told you. Trust me, the water is tested. They come in and test the water is safe. We got the right counselor. So it's not rumors that somebody's telling you, but I'm telling you what really is happening over there. Just can't believe everything,
We wouldn't be able to be open.
You can't be open.
If we didn't have the right staff. We'd have to close it for the day or for the week, whatever it would take.
Health would be involved if the water wasn't.
Yeah, the water is also tested.
She did say that the water
I
is
believe
tested. It's just grossing out, just
two or
hearing
three
this.
times. Yeah, 2 or 3 times during the summer it's tested.
Right.
And it's tested in the evening because it needs 24 hours. And the water's closed to the park is open for the public, but the water's closed for a
For the
day.
tasting.
In order to allow for the testing and the treatments.
It's nice to hear you've done something new over there.
And my suggestion,
Someone over here. This gentleman?
Yeah, he's working on the
Yes,
retaining
working on the
wall
retaining
and
wall.
my
yes.
suggestion to you is when you hear things like that, just drive over there and look yourself.
Or just come here.
Well, if I didn't work 16 hours a day, I'd be happy to drive over
Yeah.
there.
Our lifeguards come back every year. They're outstanding,
Yeah.
outstanding lifeguards.
She's a repeat.
And the people that go through our program love that. We have the school that we use in the swimming lessons. I mean, being a farmer, I never learned to swim. I'll tell these guys, they'll throw me in the water.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you will. I'll call Bobby there and talk to him.
Yeah. I do want to just mention one other thing while I'm here. Mr. Bill, there was mention of putting something on the website for everyone to go on and do a survey. I don't really look at the website. Is there any way we could send out a flyer monthly to the residents? I am just not a
The
website
newsletter?
person. I don't have the time in my day.
We are gonna send out letters notifying, but the survey will be on the website.
I will do my best now that I know, but I cannot make any promises. I will do my
But we will-
absolute best though.
We'll be sending out a number of reminders to try to get as many people to do this voluntarily. Because otherwise, we have to set up staff to go and knock on doors and maybe on weekends and things like that. Where they say we have to show our best effort to the state of New York. They said this is not one of those programs that you can say no to. It's a requirement coming down from the Congress of the United States of America. So
And this is to replace the water lines?
this is to identify all water lines and to establish a program to replace the lead water lines.
Okay. Actually, I think that we are Troy Water.
Well, you're still in the Brunswick system.
Okay.
We buy the water from Troy.
Okay. Is there any discussion, by the way, that maybe the fluoride will be removed from Troy?
Fluoride removed?
Yes.
There,
It is the only city in the state that still has fluoride, per my pediatrician.
but I had a very good acquaintance who was on the American Dental Board, I don't know if that's quite the right, but he was on the board of the dentistry board. And conclusive studies have shown that in socially economically depressed areas where they use fluoride treatment in the water, kids have far few cavities and have far better dental health than those communities that don't. So it is important, you know, in places like the city of Troy, that for people's health to continue utilizing fluoride. And that's a very debated subject, but.
Another quick thing, when you mentioned a grant in the town beach, when we built a beach house over there, we looked into a grant, and what they told us was right now it's a town of Brunswick Beach. And they said if you accept the grant through New York State, you can open it up. City of Troy, they can come up, anybody can come up because it's state money. So we held back, trying to keep it Brunswick. We had worked with Troy, and we had problems with their pools and stuff, you know, but whatever. So you talk about water. I mean, my brothers, because he tried to drown me a lot younger, but we had a pond. They used to swim in there. The cows went in there too, and it was the cows are bigger than geese. Then my brothers and everybody else would go and swim. My father was 93, my mom was 92, one brother just 88. So.
Is that the fountain of youth?
Don't let that dirty water bother you. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
You know, we almost made it without a council. You had to make it the last time.
I know. Yes, Sam, I'm sorry. I almost got it.
Oh, thank you.